So what's up, everybody? This is Midnight back here with another video. So this is me and my husband. We're gonna be just basically going back on memory lane to our wedding day because we are celebrating our first year anniversary. Come Sunday, that will be our first year anniversary, and we're celebrating that. You want to say something?
Yeah, we've been married for, well, it's gonna be going on a whole year as far as us being married. So this is this is really exciting for the both of us.
Yeah, so we're gonna be going down on memory lane, talking about our memories of what we remember of our wedding day, but also we want to talk about a social issue with how you say the justice system, or however you want to say it. So the guy who ended up getting charged for the George Floyd, the cop, I guess he was sentenced. Was that today?
Yeah, I think he got sentenced today. 22 and a half years is what the sentence was.
So for a lot of y'all, I'm gonna try to turn my comments on too. That's after this video. I'm gonna try to go on here and go down a step line because I like to know what everybody else, where y'all minds is at with it. Because we gonna just go into that first because I'm thinking like, okay, when he first got charged, I'm going back to the day when he first got charged. Now, I think they only did that. I feel like they only let America know that he was charged because they knew what kind of situation that America would have been in every city. You know, it would have been riots everywhere if it went anywhere else. But I'm just saying, even then, when that happened, when he got sentenced, and they said that they were keeping him in protective custody, I'm thinking to myself, like, why? Because why should they care about this? He shouldn't be treated like no cop now. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like he can ever work as a cop ever again. I hope, you know. And why do you want to protect him? Why do you care if he was in general population with the wolves? Why do you care if someone's killing them or not? Because he didn't care about the man he killed. So why do you care? So then with this 22 years, that ain't good enough, man. That's not justice for we black people. I'm just saying. Excuse anybody white that might be watching this. I ain't no racist or nothing like that, but I'm just saying that that's not really no justice for us, because even with this 22 and a half years he's gonna do, or supposedly, he may not even do 10 of them years. He might do less than 10 and then serve the rest of that time on papers. Like, where's the justice at for that? And then they might still keep him in protective custody while he doing the time. Like, that's not fair. This other man's family gonna have to go on and be without him forever. His children and everybody. Like, how is that justice for anybody? What you gotta say?
Well, my thing is that this is just how, in a sense, how the justice system is.
He tired, y'all. I woke him up for this video. He didn't want to do it, y'all, but he gonna do it.
She always forced me to do it. But anyway, like I was saying, this basically on the justice issue, or just basically on most social matters. Most of the social matters in the United States, in most cases, are kind of one-sided, especially like for minorities. If we flip the script, if this would have been a black cop, or a cop that was Puerto Rican or Native American, or any type of other ethnic group, that cop probably would have been doing way more time than just doing 22 years. Probably would have automatically been sentenced to life. But this situation that is going on is nothing new. This goes all the way back to, you can trace this type of behavior all the way back to slavery days, and then all the way also back to Jim Crow laws, when cops would do literally commit a lot of murders on African Americans and other minorities, and nothing actually happened. They got literally no sentencing at all. Matter of fact, they went completely scot-free. They went home. Matter of fact, a lot of the judges and even some of the jurors at the time, who was mostly white, would pretty much be friends with these police officers that would actually commit these murders, and nothing would happen. Matter of fact, they would actually celebrate, the murder of an African American. And sometimes the celebration would literally be lynching, burning African Americans at the stake, and things of that nature. So what African Americans have gone through in this country is nothing new. Matter of fact, I had a situation basically on Facebook, and you guys can check it out if you guys are my Facebook friend, with two individuals where I put up a post if slavery was different in America. In other words, if things were basically in reverse. If African Americans were to have Caucasians or white people in slavery.
Right.
And it kind of sprung up a very, very, very long debate, probably over 40 to 50 something comments of going back and forth about race and slavery. Now, we all know, as African Americans, at least you should know if you do history, that slavery was worldwide. Slavery was not just an American thing. Everybody should know that. And if you don't, all you got to do is look online, open the textbook. The issue was not that I did not know that slavery was worldwide. We already know that. And I know that African Americans were not the only ones that were slaves. It were slavery all over the world, different ethnic groups, I should say, or tribes is probably even a better word, or slavery to somebody. But I was just referring to slavery in America. And as everyone knows, that slavery in America, the majority of slaves in America were African American.
Yeah,
and
they
very
never,
historical.
Right, and then with that post, like, okay, they was trying to make it seem like, okay, it wasn't just for African Americans, but that wasn't the point. The point was, we were talking about how African American slaves were mistreated, and how even if it was other slaves, that would probably be something that I wouldn't even know, because most time when you see anything that had to do with slavery, they were showing black folks. All these movies containing black folks as slaves, you know what I'm saying? So that look, they just don't want to understand the truth of the matter. Like I'm saying, a lot of those people they don't want to come and accept the fact of what your ancestors did to mine. You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to.
And sorry to cut you off, babe. But the issue when it comes to that is basically sweeping it under the rug. Now, that's kind of how I look at it. So the whole thing is just a whole situations like this. If I were to talk about let's say the Holocaust, right? And somebody were to say, well, the Holocaust is not that bad because it was slavery everywhere. Right. Now, what you do when I bring up the Holocaust, you basically just sweep what I just said under the rug. And a lot of people are doing that. If I talk about African Americans being slaves in America, and you bring up the subject that, yeah, African Americans were slaves, but at the same time, it was slavery everywhere. Yeah. What you do is you sweep what I just say under the rug, and you just pretty much just disregard what I say. The topic at hand was African Americans were slaves in America. That was the whole point of the topic. Now, true, were there slaves everywhere? Yes, there were a lot of different slaves. Matter of fact, they had slaves that were white in other places of the world.
But they weren't treated
like
they
were not, exactly. They
weren't treated like us.
The only problem is that they were not treated as harsh. Now, everybody knows that they were white slaves that were in Africa. But the white slaves that were in Africa were actually treated more like servants. They were not treated like slaves. The slavery in America, the slavery of African Americans in America were actually treated like cattle. It was completely different. When you have big metal plates around your head, you were chained up, you were whipped, and you were constantly beaten. But over in Africa, yes, you had some slaves that were beaten and mistreated as well, but most of them, if you look through history, they were actually treated more like servants than they were slaves. It was a completely different thing.
And that's why I said people. That's why I said people. We get the lose-lose situation, because with the justice system, it's built to fail us. Because I say that because they want to see us destroy each other. And so far for what's going on in society, we actually proven them right. That's why I said black folks need to stick more together, because as you see what they did with this cop, let another black man went out there and killed a black man. He killed one of his own. They gonna smash him and they gonna put him under the jail, and they gonna throw his ass in general population. They not gonna give a damn about his life and about somebody in prison killing him. Okay, so they gonna throw him to the wolves, and he's gonna get slammed. Okay, and then here it is when someone else kills one of us, we still losing because we feel like we don't get justice. I feel like we don't get justice served as us as people, even when someone else does something to one of us. It just hasn't been justice for a long time, and I don't know if people feel like if this is justice, but this is not justice, man. Not in my book at all. Like, I feel like he should have been slammed like a criminal, you know what I'm saying, and treated like a criminal. Like, skip all of that ex-cop, you know what I'm saying? Y'all covering him as if he's still one of y'all, you know, and I just don't feel like that's fair to this man's family. You know what I'm saying? This man still, even with doing time, he's still gonna have his family. They can come see him, and he's still breathing life in him. This other family over here, he didn't give a dang about this man when he had his knee on his neck, when he was taking the life out of him. So why do y'all care about someone else taking his life from him? I just feel like sometimes it should be eye for an eye, and I feel like, you know, oh well, if that's mean, okay, so be it. But that's the way I see it. I see it like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dr. Martin Luther King said something a while ago when he was living. Actually, I think he said something about the African American population. This was about, I think this was probably about like 13 months before he actually passed. But he said that African Americans are the only one, literally the only ones in the United States that were slaves. That's something different that all over the world was different. All over the world you had other nations and other ethnic groups slaves. But African Americans were the only ones that were actually slaves. Now, some people would try to argue that the first slaves in this country were white. But you have to understand, they were indentured servants. So an indentured servant is completely different from a slave. So you have to be very, very clear. An indentured slave was basically more of a servant. So they would do something, let's say they did a crime, they would work it off for a number of years, and then they were completely free. Completely different from an African American that was a slave. They were basically a slave for the rest of their life. Meaning they were a slave, their wife was a slave, their children was a slave. That is completely different. African Americans had no choice to be an indentured slave. They were pretty much slaves for the rest of their life, unless their master at that particular time gave them the option, which was very rare, to actually be an indentured slave, to literally buy their freedom. They didn't have that choice. Now, back to what Martin Luther King said. He basically actually said that the African Americans, our color of our skin, has become a stigma. So even after slavery, through the Jim Crow process that were going on even afterward, still became a stigma. We still were treated like slaves. This is something that is completely overlooked. If I'm free, I should have the right to be able to vote and do all the things, which African Americans could not do anything. And if we tried to vote, if we went to the wrong neighborhood, if anything, if we even had a curfew. So that means if we stayed past a certain time, we could be hung still, just like we were in slavery. We could be jailed. We were beaten, and even people were even murdered. So if you say that the justice system was fair for all, or if you try to sweep certain things under the rug, you're overlooking the fact that even from the time slavery ended, all the way up until even the late 60s, African Americans was still treated like they were slaves, or basically what Martin Luther King said, less than human. So it is a big racial divide in America, and not only that, let's take it to certain groups. The Ku Klux Klan have made a lot of crimes in this country, but they have never been on trial. The government have never busted up any of their meetings. But let's look at the Black Panthers. A lot of the Black Panthers are in prison. A lot of them have been murdered, and there have been no trials for these particular crimes. So when people are addressing race, let's just be honest. Certain crimes have not even been solved because they have been swept under the rug. And when you sweep certain things under the rug and you have people saying certain things like it's not that bad, or that happened a long time ago, that is putting blinders on when you say,
trying to justify.
Yeah, justifying when you say you don't see color. Now, I would be completely racist if I tell a Jew that said the Holocaust was important because a million some Jews died, and I say, oh, that's not important because that happened years ago. I would be considered a bigot or a racist. So why is it different for when an African American says slavery was horrible in America, but we got two individuals or some individuals saying it wasn't that bad because slavery was a long time ago? It's the same thing. And that's what I guess people are not seeing. Listen, number one, I'm a man of God. I am not racist. I do not hate anybody because of their race, their creed, their religion, or anything. I don't do that. I was raised up to love everybody equally. But when it's time to point out a certain particular ethnic group for a justice cause, then you're called racist or I'm being blind. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just picking up a particular subject, which happens to be African Americans that were slaves or that were mistreated in this country. And there's nothing wrong with saying that.
And you know what? We as African Americans, I mean, we got a right to feel how we want to feel in regards to our ancestors. I don't care if I was not born in a time, which I thank God that I was not, because I don't think that I'll be alive, you know what I'm saying? But we can feel how we want, because some of us come from family members where we have our grandmothers and their mothers, you know, that can tell you a little bit of something about that, and they've experienced some of that kind of stuff. So listen, that's going to be hurtful to us as African American people. We got a right to speak our mind, and if someone want to call us racist because we speaking on what happened with our ancestors, well, so be it. I mean, but I'm going to still say what I want to say about it, and I didn't like it. And like I said, today, in today's world, I feel like we still in slavery mentality. It's still slavery mentality out there, because anytime you have control over a mass of people and you can put fear and control over people, the government, I'm speaking, slavery mentality. Because don't you think that the government, if they didn't want slavery to happen, they got so much power. The government got so much power, so many different people sitting on power, that if they didn't want that to happen, it wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have never happened. They could have caused that to stop a little sooner. And just like today's time, how they put all that fear out here with us with COVID-19, because you know what, I work in I'm covered by the blood of Jesus too. That's how I looked at this whole pandemic. You know what I'm saying? But the government put so much fear in the world with COVID-19. And it's a form of control. You know what I'm saying? It's a form of control. Slavery mentality, man. It's still slavery mentality out here. And that's why I said a lot of people, like a lot of us, y'all, please, y'all got to get out of that. You know, this government ain't built for helping us, really. It's too many hungry, homeless people out here in the world. when it shouldn't be. You know what? Government don't take care of the veterans like they supposed to be. Look on every corner, I see a lot of these people, they veterans, they ain't been taken care of, and they fought for this country. The government supposed to be fighting for them. So listen, we gonna stop all that. We gonna stop that. We gonna get it together with us. You know, because like I said, they want to see us kill each other. And they laughing at us every time we do it. Every time we do it. Every time we do it, they laugh at us, y'all. We gotta stop it. We gotta learn how to come together, because we losing that way and we losing the other way. Because this is not a win. This is not a win in my book. This is not justice at all. Not one bit. It's just not. And I feel like that man should have been slammed. And I don't give a damn about who harmed him. If that man was to go and get in general population and somebody killed him that night, oh well, he killed the man. He killed the man. He's blessed enough to be able to still have breath in his body. It needs to be, I think, more capital punishment, and I know it is in certain places. And then a lot of the places where they have capital punishment, you really don't hear about too many people breaking those laws, because they already know what they're going to be up against. Like, they're going to probably be on death row and all. Like, you know, I'm really looking at statistics like that, because we live in Wisconsin. It's horrible here. Like, the city of Milwaukee at one point in time used to be a peaceful place, is what I was told by so many, you know, by so many people. It used to be so peaceful here. Like, people used to really live with their doors unlocked, you know, in the roughest neighborhoods. I'm talking about in the roughest neighborhoods there is. It used to be that way back in the days. Now, you gotta pray. Pretty much you gotta pray outside. You gotta pray when you leave in your house anywhere, because the world is not safe nowhere. We living in a sinful place anywhere where there's a lot of crime and things. But you gotta pray out of your door, you know, making it that you make sure that you making it back home. You making it to your destination. It's just so bad out here, and a lot of what's going on in our societies, it is us. I'm going to say that it's us. We got to calm down with each other. Like, it's time to put the guns down. It's time for us to bring our communities together. It's time for us to build our communities up, because it's going to take us, the ones who live within a community. It's going to take the ones who live within this community to help the community. Okay, because we know what we need in our communities. We know best what we need in our communities. We know best how we're going to go about that. But how are we going to do that if we can't even see the good enough to be able to be around each other, because we want to be in competition with each other? We got negative things to say about one another. We don't know how to unite and be as one and come together without the violence, without all of the nonsense. Like, we got to stop it. It's time for a change with us. And it does start with us first, because they already put this stigma on us. Like he said, we got stereotypes planted on us way back long. And they still stand with us. They still stand with us right now. But we got to make some changes about that. It's got to come from us. Like, we got to do it. It's got to start with us first. And I believe that in my heart that it's going to get better, but we got to make it better. We got to at least try to make some kind of progress at it. Get it started. Somebody got to do right. Because how are we going to teach our kids how to do right? Everybody's talking about all these youngsters out here, this generation is crazy. This generation. Well, who was if this generation is crazy, that means the generations before them was not teaching them anything. So what does that say? You know what I'm saying? We blame and placing blame on the youth. But what about these adults who was supposed to be in these youth lives and supposed to be the ones showing them and guiding them, being models and role models for them? Where were they? You know? So we going to look at them with a bad taste in our mouth. We got to look at some of these adults who was not teaching them the right way. Because it starts with the home first. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the peer pressure out there, that's true. It is a lot of peer pressure out there. Not saying that, you know, all of that is what it is, but I'm just saying, in order for somebody to do what's supposed to be done the right way, they have to learn from somebody. It has to be a lesson learned from somebody. Somebody within the home or somebody outside of the home that's considered a role model of some sort to the child. And even to adults now, because I'm saying it's still some silly adults out here making silly decisions. We gotta clean it up. It gotta be cleaned up. And it has to start with us first. So we have to do that. So we're gonna ease out of this conversation, unless he got something else to add.
I'm done with that right now.
And then we're gonna go on to the portion of us going down memory lane. You wanna start with that first?
You can start. Ladies first.
Oh, really? No, I had a question for you. I wanted to ask you, was you nervous?
Nervous about what?
Was you nervous about getting married?
Of course I was a little nervous.
Why?
I was nervous.
What was you nervous for?
Good. I didn't know how things would turn out, but they turned out pretty good.
Turn out meaning, you gotta elaborate on that. I don't know.
Oh my god. Okay, so I guess everybody gets a little nervous when they get married or when it's their big day. So yeah, you know, I was nervous because I didn't know what to expect. So a little bit of nervousness did come along. But other than that, once everything got, you know,
He was nervous.
everything got rolling, I was basically okay. I was more nervous basically just standing up there by myself pretty much. Until she came along, I felt a little better. Cause I'm like, dang, how long am I gonna stay up here by myself till my bride comes? That's kind of how I was thinking. But other than that, everything else was smooth.
For me, I wasn't nervous. I was nervous, but no, more anxious. I'm gonna say anxious because I was anxious that everything would turn out right. Because it's like other people, I wanted to make sure everything went according to play. Yeah, because we had other people doing our decor. I was pretty stern and okay with how the coordination was gonna go because his dad was pretty firm with everything and he was pretty good with it, so that part I won't really worry about. But I was just making sure that the decor was gonna be nice in the way that I liked it, because it's like I didn't see none of that until actually after I got dressed, and I was like, well, I want to see what my decor looked like. So I went upstairs and it was beautiful. Like, I loved it. I loved her idea. I didn't have no input in that. I just said, listen, I trusted the lady. I trusted that she would have it nice and pretty in there. And when I went up and seen it, it was good to go. But then we were waiting on his mom, and I'm thinking like, oh my God, I hope nothing didn't happen to her, because we were waiting on his mom, and that kind of took some time. And so I didn't want to go on with anything until his mom showed up, because I already know that he do not want his mom to miss this moment. So we are not, because they kept coming to me, his dad and other people, they kept coming back where I was, and they was like, do you want to go ahead on with the ceremony? Because, you know, because I already know how Dee feel about his mom being there. So I'm like, no, we're going to have to, you know, just wait until she get here. And that was bringing up anxiety again, because I'm thinking like, oh my God, she really is a punctual person. So I'm like, oh my God, I wonder, have not nothing terribly wrong happen, because she's very punctual. So I really didn't get that part, but I did not want to start that ceremony until his mom got there, and we didn't.
Yeah, that part right there kind of got me, because I was constantly calling and finding out what was going on. But they finally showed up, and things were, you know, things finally acted, things that basically acted accordingly is the word I'm trying to say. So yeah, everything pretty much went good on that. Another thing too about the wedding is also about the drinks.
Oh yeah, it was almost a dilemma.
It was
almost
a thing, because the guy that we got the
he should have told us.
They got we got the building from. He's a real good guy. Like Clay, hands down, he did an excellent job.
If you in Milwaukee, matter of fact, if you in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you were looking to get married at and have a nice venue, the 6th floor.
Yeah.
6th floor venue. Check him out.
Clay,
nice.
Clay is the owner of that. He did a real good job. I want to thank you, Clay, if you're watching this. You did a good job.
Awesome.
Yeah, very good. The only thing that happened, it was a little misunderstanding about our guest basically bringing drinks in, and it was just a little confusing.
Well, what it was is we paid for open bar. Okay. So then when I went to go see the decor upstairs, I was dressed. He had came to me and he said, "Oh, I got something nice for you guys. I'm making you guys a signature drink." So I'm thinking this is a plus added to the open bar. Okay. But we had no open bar. And my guests, you know, like my family, they like to drink. Okay. So, and I was hoping to drink too. You know what I'm saying? They like to drink. Okay, we know it's open bar. Everybody was already informed that it's open bar, so that means you have to pay for your own drink. But I did pay for open bar. So by us not getting open bar, it kind of almost posed a question because my brother was trying to actually go get liquor. And I didn't think that they wanted to bring that situation to me. I don't think Clay wanted to bring it to me because he already knows that we were supposed to have a bar anyway for our guests. So they didn't want to bring it up. But then when I talked to him the next day, he understood what I was saying because we had already paid him for open bar, which is a service we didn't get. So he ended up refunding us, and he refunded us even extra. So I appreciate that. But it was just a little misunderstanding. I mean, they still was able to get their drinks because we stayed in a hotel. They got drunk inside of the hotel anyways. But, you know, a lot of our guests left like a little bit early.
Yeah, because
due to that, we had plenty of food left too.
Yeah, too much food.
A lot, to the point where we were just blessing the hotel people there. You know what I'm saying?
Giving them food.
Well, your sisters then was supposed to serve everybody both of the meats. They was
Yeah.
only serving people one meat. You know,
Yeah.
we went with Famous Days as our caterer, and so it was in the summer. That's barbecue. You know, everybody like who don't like eating barbecue meat. You know what I'm saying? So we had so many rib tips left to where it ain't even funny. So we gave that to the whole. They was blessed, you know what I'm saying. We was gonna take that food somewhere because we couldn't take it all the way home, you know. Cake really didn't get ate up either because we didn't really do all that, you know.
Nah, we didn't.
A lot of them left early, but they were probably gonna leave early anyway. But still, it was a lot of food, and I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, all this money finna go down the drain. No, we was gonna be feeding the homeless and all of that. You hear what I'm talking about? But we left that. It got gone because I made sure that everybody who was there take that food home. Take some of that food home because we can't do everything with this here. That was just like 3 pans. I think it was 3 pans of tips or something like that to that nature. But it was a good time. I mean, very good time. Pictures was nice, you know. Very nice time. That's all I can say is it was a memorable time. And I'm overall happy with how everything went overall. I'm happy with how everything went. Everybody ended up showing up, even though it was a struggle trying to get everybody doing rehearsals sometime, but still, even with everybody missing some of them rehearsals, that it still came out real good because, like I said, his dad was very excellent with the coordination anyway. He was excellent. So it all came together. It all came together.
I want to say thank you to my guy Chris Burton for filming and doing like all the photography and giving us a good deal on the book and the pictures and photos and all that stuff. He's also going to be shooting some more photos for our first year wedding anniversary as well. So I want to just give a good shout out. He's an excellent photographer. I've been knowing Chris for years. We went to high school together. So big shout out to you.
And unfortunately, that's funny because he must have, he was a lot bigger then. But Chris is also my cousin's best friend, my cousin's ex-boyfriend, best friend. She was like, you don't remember Chris? I'm like, no. He used to be Rod all the time. I'm like, I remember Rod, but I don't ever remember. Maybe he looked different. He was probably bigger. That's probably why I didn't recognize him. But yeah, if you're looking for a nice photographer, you can look him up too. His name Christopher Burton. He's on Facebook. Matter of fact, I never even put my Facebook out there for some of y'all because maybe y'all can follow me there with questions and different things that y'all want me to do on my channel. So if y'all want to follow me on Facebook, my Facebook name is Sheila Dukes. Okay, my Facebook name is Sheila Dukes on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Midnight. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it will be Midnight. And if you want to follow me on Facebook, you just look under Sheila Dukes. And you have anything else to add?
No, I don't got anything else to add. I think that's pretty much it. You got anything?
You don't got nothing else to add?
No.
So what was you looking forward to?
What do you mean?
What was you looking forward to?
I'm confused with the question.
No, what was you looking forward to?
Looking forward to
The wedding.
Oh, well, as far as looking forward to the day of the wedding, I was just looking for things to go pretty much according to plan, which they did.
He was looking forward to something else. He don't want to say it on this camera.
A couple mishaps.
He don't want to say that on this camera, but he was
pretty much
looking
it.
forward to something.
Having my wife. That's what else could there be?
Having your wife, huh? Having his wife.
And she was looking forward to having her husband.
Well, y'all, this concludes this video. Like I said, I'm gonna work on them comments so y'all can hit us up with the questions and stuff like that, because I really do want to know y'all input on a lot of this stuff. So I will be working on that at some point. I don't know why it don't have comments open, but it just don't, and I don't know how to do it. So if y'all like, I can't say comments, like this channel and just continue to support and watch. You know, I appreciate all y'all views, you know, what little things that I put up on the channel. I was actually supposed to do like a little cooking video. We were supposed to be doing a mukbang today, but we ended up eating our food. I ate my food, then did some homework or whatnot, and so we didn't do that. That's been done already, but probably sometime next week I would do upload another cooking video or something, because I do like to cook, so that's something that I like to do. And I'm going to be uploading some footage of us on our anniversary day, because we're going to be looking so dapper, y'all. And other than that, y'all be blessed out here. Stay safe. Show love to everybody. That's all I want to know. Say to you guys. Just be blessed, safe, and show love. Y'all have a good one.